Hi everyone, welcome back to the session on optimizing your PC. So one of the areas that we also need to look at when it comes to troubleshooting is how to go and find out what the problem is. And usually the best way to go and do that is to go online. Now it really depends on what the issue is. If it's specific to a product, so if it's something that's happening within a Microsoft product, for example, then what I'd recommend is going to their website as a starting point. And then searching within their support communities within there. That'll go for any other products, like if it's something like VirtualBox, that's the first place I would start, or if it's something to do with Kali Linux, then that's the place that you would go to at a starting point anyway. It's not necessarily saying they're going to have the solution or even know about the problem. It's just always the first starting point that I would go to. So I'll just show you, if I open up my web browser and I've got some here. So if you look at the Microsoft support, so you just go support.microsoft.com if it's specific to Microsoft, that is. Now you can either go through, if you know what the issue is regarding, you can actually go through and browse through, but it's always easier just to search it in. So if I just say something like unable to start Word. Okay, then I get a whole list of potential issues that could be mine. Now the thing about this, and the reason I would recommend using something like the Microsoft support, is because you know it's going to be reliable, because it's generally been vetted. Sometimes when you just search in the browser, you'll get a whole bunch of potential answers and solutions. However, it also gets lost and mixed up in some of the advertisements and also potentially some unsecure sites. So it's always best, if you know it's a product issue, come to the product website and either look for the communities or within the support channel within that product. So the other area, and if it's not specific to a product or you're just not sure, there's a couple of general websites that are great for looking up potential issues. If it's just a general IT or PC issue, Experts Exchange is probably one of the best, and it's been around for probably nearly 20 years now. So it is reputable and it does have a lot of information, and it's all community driven too, so the chances are if you've got the issue, then someone else has had it somewhere along the way. Okay, so again, you can either browse by the topic if it's something you want to go and do, or even if you want to go and find out how to do something, this is also a great resource for that. Now I'm just going to search in here as well, just to give you an example. So let's just say I was having an issue with VirtualBox, so I could come in here and just say something broad, unable to install VirtualBox. Okay, and there you go. So I get this list of 161 results. Now when it comes to this, the thing to note is just have a look at the dates, because typically you want something that's more recent than not, if you're looking for a specific problem, basically because the technology changes so much that it might just not be relevant anymore. So typically you can go and sort it by date, and you can either submit date, and let's just do last commented date to newest. Okay, and so that'll get, depending on what the issue is, that'll have a different answer there. The other one, depends again. If it's something to do with general PC, then this is a great one. If it's something to do with if it's code specific, so if it's something like if you're doing the programming course or something where you're using some code, then Stack Overflow is a great resource. And again, this is community driven, and it's also likely that if you've had the issue there, that someone has either had the same issue or a very similar issue. So this is always a great starting point for that. Okay, so if we just open up a general browser site, or Google, let's just go to Google. And I'll show you what I mean by just typing in a broad, if I type it into Google, okay, so the first thing that does pop up is from Microsoft support, which is good, but that really depends. Sometimes if you scroll down, you'll see some other websites here that potentially have an issue. But in terms of reliability, I wouldn't necessarily trust everything that gets loaded here. I would tend to stick with some of the more reliable ones, like either Microsoft's, as I said, for product specific, or something like Experts Exchange. All right. Okay, so we'll leave that here for now, and we'll move on to the next session.